welcome to these, for lack of a better name, digestible bites of traditional Tai Chi form. And today we're starting the Chen form. And so let us dive right in. We are in Uji stance. And now we'll step out into a wider stance. This is horse stance, knees bent, spine tall. Sense like we're sitting on a horse. And since we'll be spending some time here in our practice, a lot of the Chen style is happening in a stance like this. And it can pull on our knees, it can make our quads burn. And so find the stance that works for you. And it can be anywhere in between Uji stance and a very wide horse stance, whatever works for you. To complete horse stance, we're going to bring our arms around like we're holding, embracing a sphere in front of us. Shoulders laying down. Sense of sit on our horse as we're holding our sphere. And as part of this digestible learning of traditional Tai Chi form, we're actually going to go through a series of poses first before we string the poses together in their dynamic and fluid way. So dropping the arms down, shifting over to the right, so you can treat me like a mirror image, and swinging the right arm up so that the fingers are about shoulder height. Elbow still laying, shoulders still laying down. Elbow hanging down. And then the left hand is here, kind of by our crease, elbow slightly out, looking towards the right hand. This is called Tai Coat. Coming back to center. Moving anything that's asking to be moved. And then just swinging up again into Tai Coat. Coming down. Seeing if your stance wants to be adjusted one way or another. The feet are a little bit more parallel than you might expect. Nothing forced, but just notice we're not plieing here. The feet are kind of like they're in stirrups facing forward, but not in any way that feels uncomfortable for your knees. Swinging up once more time. Tai Coat. Weight shift about 70% over the right leg. 30% on the left still. And then coming back to center. Coming back into horse stance, holding the sphere. Taking a couple of breaths. And then dropping the hands. And now our left hand is going to swing up just like our right hand was doing. And with our right hand now, we're going to make what's called a single whip. I'm just going to come forward to show you in a little more detail this hand gesture. So this is where the fingers are just gathering around the thumb. So there's the thumb, and all the other fingers are gently touching it, coming around that thumb. Palm of the hand is parallel with the ground, or single whip here in the Chen style. And we look towards the left hand, about 70% of our weight over on the left side, single whip out to the right, and like we're embracing a really large sphere here in front of us. And back to center. Move anything that's asking to be moved. Maybe take a higher stance and get all the benefits you want just from the stance like this. Again, swinging up into single whip. And back down. And let's make it an even 3. Fingers long, arms long, shoulders resting, and back to center. Horse stance. Tie coat. Single whip. And shake it all out. And now coming into, and this is truly for the form, just slightly wider than hip width apart. A little bit like a wider uji stance. Bringing our left hand to make a flat bed. This is going to be like the mortar and pestle, right? And this is your pestle, and it's going to come down, and the littlest knuckle goes right into the heart of the hand, right into the very center acupuncture point of the hand. And I'm just going to come forward to show that in a little more detail. So you're making a true fist, fingers curled, wrapped around, flat palm of your hand, and the littlest knuckle comes right down and into that. And the full name for this is Buddha's Warrior Attendant Pounds Mortar. We'll say that this is the end of pound mortar move. And now let's just begin to mix the air. We're just going to mix the air. Mixing. And on the next mix, making a fist and bringing that fist down. Pound mortar. One more time. Mixing. There's a lot of circles in the Chen form. A lot of circular movements. And then making a fist and just bringing that fist into the very center. The elbows are a little bit out, rounded to the front. And this time we're going to just mix round and cross our hands until we can't mix anymore. Can't mix anymore. And we lift up our right leg, set it out a little bit wider. And then the bottom hand is going to go on this journey out to Tai Coat. And stepping in, replacing our pound mortar right at the end of that move, and then going into where we mix the air, and we come into Tai Coat. Mixing. Right leg lifts off, steps out wider. Noticing the left hand floats by your heart and down in a rounded motion. And before we do it one more time, for the longest time I was like, why is that move tie coat? I tie a coat this way. And the full name for the move is called wraparound and tie coat. And so it turns out that traditionally they would have very long sleeves in their gowns. And before they would fight in the martial art of Tai Chi or just in overall, they would have to tie up their sleeves. And so as you begin here, at the end of pound mortar, as we go into this is wrapping around, kind of using it as a mnemonic device for remembering this move for today. We're wrapping up the sleeves of our coat, wrap around, and tie coat. Stepping in and ending our bite-sized practice for today with 3 return to Uchi movements. You have now become a little more familiar with wraparound and tie coat. And in the next bite size, we'll see how this links to single whip. And maybe string a few more moves together. Whatever we'll do, we'll take it bit by bit. So thanks for making this investment in learning Tai Chi form, traditional form, today here.